Hello everyone. So today in that translation series part 3 we are going to talk about the translation in eukaryotes. As in the part 1 we have simply talked about that translation process. What is the translation? In the translation part 2 we have talked about that translation in prokaryotes and today we are going to talk about translation in 3. Of course this is one of the very important topic in your UPSC zoology optional paper 2, right? So this is not only for the zoology optional paper but also for other other science subjects, such as this topic is relevant for various purposes because it is one of the very common topic and very important topic. Okay, here we are going to talk about a little bit in detail as we have done in the prokaryotes, right? So in the prokaryotes we have also mentioned a specific initiator factor IF2, IF3, then IF1, so on and so on. So now to before to start this translation in prokaryotes, what the basic thing we know, that what is translation, how this translation process occurs, like in the three steps, that initiation, elongation and termination. And in that three steps what are the major things has occurred, will be going to occur, right? So in that, even if it will be your prokaryotes or in the eukaryotes, what will happen, the codons which is present in your mRNA which is transcribed from your transcription process, right? After the post transcriptional modification, mRNA just emerge or it take exit from the nucleus and enters into the cytoplasm. So replication and transcription process occurs in your nucleoplasm, right, in the nucleus, while the translation process occurs in your cytoplasm, right? So what happens, the mRNA the contains which containing the codons, particularly codons, which is recognized. So here the mRNA is attached with the two subunit of ribosomes, right, the small subunit and the large subunit, as of course there are different types of ribosome in your prokaryotes and the eukaryote, that is 60S and the 80S. So in the prokaryotes we have talked about that 60S, and in this we are going to talk about that 80S. Okay, so of course 80S divided into three subunits, that is your ribosomes is divided into two subunits, that is your small subunit and the large subunit, that will going to attach on the mRNA with the specifying the site, that is your E site, P site and A site. Remember the last class, if you haven't seen this class, of course you guys can see that basic we have already talked about. The basic mechanism is the similar, but there will be the difference in the enzymes, ADPs and everything, right? So EPA site, the first first charge, wahan pe there was charge like and formyl methionine, yahan pe the first tRNA will be the methionine, right? The first tRNA comes and bind to the P site, and then next tRNA will come to bind to the A site, and then the two tRNA carrying the tRNA, the anticodon loop of the tRNA is having that whatever the codons is mentioned. Okay, so wait a minute. So whatever the codons are mentioned in your mRNA, uska hi the complementary of that. Remember the complementary of that, that is your anticodon. That's why it is known as anticodon. It is containing the complementary of that, and according to this codon, right, suppose that if this is the first is your AUG, so AUG is going to, and this is a three end site, remember we have talked about it, at the three end site the amino acid, the specific amino acid will going to attach. Gradually this amino acid will bind to the next tRNA. This amino acid will going to bind, this is your E site, sorry, this is your P site, this is your E site and this is your A site. The new tRNA comes on your A site and this amino acid will going to bind on this. That's how the continued long chain of amino acid, like abhi yahan pe ek hai, iske baad one more. Okay, the long chain of amino acid will get prepared, and after scanning the complete mRNA or whatever the size of the amino acid will be required, the UAG or the stop codon will come, and this amino acid chain will get breakdown from that last tRNA. That's whole the process of the translation we are going to talk about in that different steps. Okay, chalo. Let's talk about that translation in prokaryotes. So of course we have already talked about the process differentiated into mainly three steps, that is initiation, elongation and termination. So eukaryotic initiator factor EIF2, EIF1, EIF1A, EIF2, then EIF3, EIF4A, EIF5, EIF5B, EIF4E and 4F, and lastly your 4G. 4G has a little bit significance also. Okay, so these are your initiating factor 1, 1, 8, 2, 2, 3, then 4A, 4B, then 5 and 4E, 4F and 4E also, है ना, and then 4G also. 4 के सबसे ज्यादा वेरिएंट है आपके, 3 के कोई वेरिएंट नहीं है, 3 का सिर्फ एक वेरिएंट है EIF3. What is the meaning of that EIF? Initiate eukaryotic initiator factors. That is the significance of that. That is the full form of EIF. Okay. Then what are the elongation factors? Similar eukaryotic elongation factor, that is your EIF1, EFTU and EFG. That are your elongation factors. Simultaneously, I have just mentioned, so that it will be a little ease for you guys to just remember at one point. Then the termination factor, ERF1, ERF, that is termination factor, that means releasing factor, right? Right. What is the termination? When the subunits of ribosome scan the stop codon, right? When they scan the stop codon, then a long chain of amino acid which has been prepared to the continuous tRNA coming in the formation of the peptide bond, then it's preparation of the long amino acid chain. So it will need to release, right, with the scanning of that stop codon. So because of that, they're the releasing factor, ERF1, ERF2 and ERF3. Okay, fine. In eukaryotes, the small subunit is already associated with that initiator tRNA. Similar here that we have also talked about. Okay, so this is your, okay, so initially wait a minute. In that initial first series of the translation, we have already talked about the major enzyme or the major things required for the translation process. So there we have talked about the ribosome, ribozymes, tRNA, mRNA, so many things. Okay. So similar thing is that the eukaryotes, the small subunit is already associated with an initiator tRNA. ठीक है, जो आपका small subunit होगा उसी में ही आपके initiator tRNA जो first tRNA होता है वो associate होगा when it is recruited to the capped 5' end of the mRNA. This is something, capped 5' end of the mRNA, which is connecting with the post-transcriptional modification. So in that post-transcriptional modification, we talk about that capping, right, of the guanylation. That is something. It then scans along the mRNA in 5' to 3' direction. In 5' to 3' direction until it reaches as a first 5 AUG codon, right, which it recognizes as a start codon. Eukaryotic cells require more auxiliary proteins, right, to derive the initiative process compared to your prokaryotes. Of course, this is compared to more complex. Initiation, the events of the initiation can be broken down into 4 steps. What are the majorly 4 steps? Chalo, this is so simple that in contrast to the situation of prokaryote, eukaryotic cell binding on the tRNA is small, always, that is not very much important. A separate, the small ribosomal subunit bind to the initiated tRNA, scan the mRNA for the first AUG sequence. Okay. Next, the large subunit of the ribosome is recruited after the initiated tRNA base pair with the start codon. जब ये small subunit आपकी scan कर लेगी किसको? AUG को. जब इसने scan कर लिया, in that prokaryote we have talked about that Stein-Dalgarno process. Remember? So after the scanning of AUG codon, of course this is your mRNA. अब mRNA के mRNA, so AUG codon, it's not necessary that AUG or start codon should be there in the initial. It should not be necessary. It is not one of the required thing, right? So a small subunit of ribosomes with the tRNA scans the mRNA for the AUG site, right? And after the reaching of that AUG site, the large subunit comes and attaches with that small subunit like this. Got it? This is something interesting with the start codon. Now, EIF1, 1A, 5 act together to prevent both large subunit binding and tRNA binding to the A site. ठीक है, ये जो आपके EIF1, 1A and 5 है, ठीक है, ये क्या कर रहे हैं, ये साथ में काम करते हैं, किस लिए? टू प्रिवेंट कि फर्दर जब तक they are functioning for preventing the subunit to the association of the large and subunit until the start codon will be recognized. Okay, binding to the A site, subunit binding and tRNA binding to the A site. ये tRNA को A site पे नहीं bind होना है, तो ये भी prevent करता है. Initiated tRNA is coated to the small subunit by the 3 subunit, the GTP binding protein. ठीक है, EIF2 क्या करता है? Binds the initiated tRNA only in the GTP bound state. ठीक है, अब यहाँ पे क्या आ रहा है? EIF2 अभी इनिशिएटर फैक्टर ही चल रहा है. ये क्या करता है? tRNA को स्मॉल सबयूनिट पे बाइंड करने को अलाउ करता है ओनली विद द GTP बाउंड स्टेट. the complex between that initiated tRNA sorry, the complex between that initiated tRNA and EIF2, यही वाला है, स्मॉल कैपिटल में लिख दिया, is called the ternary complex. So अभी यहाँ पे हमने क्या बनाया, हमने बनाया यहाँ पे फर्स्ट आपका इंपॉर्टेंट प्रोसेस है जो आपको मेंशन करना है. द फर्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट प्रोसेस इज योर ternary process, sorry, ternary complex, my bad, ternary complex. So whenever you are writing this, okay, just mention this. So first is your ternary complex. What is a ternary complex? The EIF2 plus a small subunit of ribosome plus GTP plus tRNA. ठीक है. The initiated tRNA is charged with methionine. In the prokaryote we have already talked about the charging of that methionine tRNA. Remember this enzyme we have talked about. Here the amino acid will first attach, here the tRNA will first attach, है ना. This is your enzyme, and then tRNA is attached with this amino acid, remember. So this is your charging of tRNA. The initiated tRNA is charged with methionine, not the formal methionine, क्योंकि ये आपका क्या है, प्रोकैरियोट का है. ठीक है.